Hello everyone, it's time for Success in School tip number 1. Be willing to be uncomfortable. I wish I could tell you that learning is the easiest thing in the world and that you'll never have a moment of confusion or fear or discomfort, but that's just not reality. In order to learn, sometimes we have to step out of our comfort zone. In fact, I would argue most of the time we have to step out of our comfort zone in order to learn well. There's reasons why we don't want to be uncomfortable. First of all, who wants to be uncomfortable? It's not very pleasant. But a lot of times students don't want to be uncomfortable because they want to get the work done as quickly as possible. But that is not necessarily the way to gain insight or understanding. Working a new kind of problem, working on even problems that you already know, if you're just zipping through them as fast as you can, or a writing assignment you're doing the bare minimum on just to get it done, you're not going to discover anything new. You're not going to learn. You'll get the work done maybe, but you won't learn. So sometimes it's uncomfortable because you have to slow down or go at a different pace. Also, all of us, myself included, we all try to use the same methods we've used before or that we've always used, but those methods don't necessarily work for new projects. This is so true, I know, in the field of writing, that if you're trying to go from, maybe you have always written 300-400 word papers, and now all of a sudden you've got to write a 600 or 800 word paper, guess what? Sitting down, closing your eyes, and thinking for 2 or 3 minutes and then writing what comes to the top of your head is not going to work. You're not going to be able to do the new skill. So you have to be a little uncomfortable trying something different that you haven't tried before. And finally, yes, be uncomfortable. We try to hold a project in our head completely, and we want to already see before we finish, or sometimes even before we begin, we want to know what the final product is going to be, what that final output is going to look like before we've even figured out what we've got to say. This is so true in writing. And I see so many students get stuck when they're trying to do a type of assignment they haven't done before. Maybe it's a research assignment. Maybe I'm asking them to dig deep and create an analogy. They haven't done it before, and because they don't know what the final product should look like, they get very scared and very uncomfortable. Well, that's part of learning, and it's part of creating. Discomfort is necessary for creativity. That's a picture of John Cleese. I don't know if you recognize him. He was a founder and a writer for Monty Python's Flying Circus. He has a great talk, if you want to try to find it. It's called Let's Get Creative. You can probably find it on YouTube. And he talks so much about the act of creative thinking and toward particularly concerning problem solving, or even creating something that's never been seen before. And he says these two things. Fear of making a mistake will short-circuit creativity, and rushing to a finished product kills creativity. So when you don't necessarily know everything that you're doing, you might be afraid, I'm going to do this wrong. And if you just give in to that fear and don't try, you're not going to be creative. Or trying to get to, all right, what's the deadline? Stop thinking, stop trying to solve the problem, we're done. Even though the best solution might have been 2 minutes later if you had just kept with it a little bit longer. Here's his advice. Sit with an idea, play with it, manipulate it for longer than you think you need to. By taking your time, being uncomfortable about the final product, you will find the hidden, the unusual, and the significant. And when it comes to writing, you put those kinds of things in your writing, and oh my goodness, you're a published author, because those are the things that people want to see in writing. That's what makes writing come alive. There is a connection between curiosity and confusion is certainly part of being uncomfortable. Well, curiosity is just the state of not knowing and wanting to know about it. And so not knowing can be a little uncomfortable, and it's that discomfort of not knowing that drives us forward. So curiosity leads to seeking, and seeking just means searching in unfamiliar territory, which can be uncomfortable sometimes. And seeking, of course, leads to new places and experiences. And getting to those new places and experiences in itself leads to gaining new information, making new connections, discovering new insights, and creating for yourself new ways of doing, being, and seeing. I call this no pain, no gain, because just like working out to gain muscle strength and tone, your intellect has to be exercised. Getting a little unbalanced and uncertain at times is good for your learning. Believe it or not, being uncomfortable Not to the point of frustration, not to the point of giving up, but to the point of, I've got to try something new to get this done, it's good for you. And it's good for you because it makes you work a little harder. You get actual new physical connections in your brain as you think and as you grow and as you try things, and you're afraid of making a mistake, but you're going to go for it anyways. You're going to build those new connections in your brain. You actually learn more and retain more. There's lots of studies about that if you make the learning a little bit more challenging for you, you actually learn more and retain it longer. And then you discover new ideas and new ways of doing, seeing, and being. And I mean, isn't that the goal of education after all? So be willing to be uncomfortable. It's just for a little while, and you will be okay, particularly in terms of writing. You just have to have those moments of discovery and insight that only come from sitting with it, digging through it, not rushing, not being exactly sure what the outcome is going to be. By being uncomfortable and working your way through it, you just might discover something amazing. Success tips come from my many years as a student and a teacher. They're designed to help improve your learning performance and possibly even your grade without necessarily working harder. All tips are from my perspective and not guaranteed to work in every learning setting. Success tips are not a replacement for attending class and doing your homework. If you like this video, be sure to share it and like it and follow me on Facebook. Thanks a lot. See you next time.